Hello, welcome back to another episode of K.O.R.L Radio. Here with yours truly, Kari Lindsay. You must not seek out a relationship to make yourself happy. And I'll repeat this for the people in the back. You should not seek out a relationship to make yourself happy. Because, one, no one can make you happy. Someone can do things that bring you joy, but then they'll always have to upkeep those things to bring you joy. If you're unhappy and you don't know why you're unhappy, you need to go figure out why you're unhappy. And there's a lot of ways you can do that. Introspection. Talking to someone that has the tools to help you. Literally, people say meditation, but all meditation is sit with yourself and don't freak out. That's all meditation is. Sit with yourself and don't freak out. If you don't know why you're sad and you don't know what's wrong, a partner should not have to fix that for you. You should figure out that yourself. Then when you meet a partner, you both can bring your best selves or trying to be your best selves into a pot, and then you can mix in the soup. Instead of you having soup in a pot and then throwing your partner in like ingredients. You're both soups. You got to mix together. You got to meld together. They're not seasoning for your soup. You're not seasoning for their soup. You're both your own soup. You can't expect to board someone else's ship with nothing to offer. You cannot gain voyage with nothing to offer. You should probably focus on fixing your ship before you're trying to join a fleet. That's another weird analogy. Like, who the heck? No one hears a ship, right? Why am I, that doesn't make any sense. Anyway, I want this to be more about advice, and predominantly advice when it comes to dealing with humans. And I say it like that because when people say relationship advice, people get all weird about it. But think about it. Everyone you have some type of relationship with. So I think this type of advice will help anyone, really. So I give advice to a lot of people that are in relationships, and I am not in a relationship. So you know how that'd be. Anyway, the advice I try to give people I know that are in relationships, no matter who it is in that relationship, scheduling. And as in, when I say scheduling, I don't mean like, oh, they know when I work. I mean, like, you know when you work, they know when you work. You have a schedule written out, and you have them on the schedule, the days and times you would like to see them. And I think this is a good idea for a number of reasons. Predominantly, the main reason why this is a good idea is because not only does it set boundaries of when and where you want to see them, but it also makes them feel like they're special. Because not only do they know your schedule and they know what you have to do, they know where they stand on your schedule, and they know that they're wanted on your schedule, and they know that you set aside specific time for them. And that kind of like fills the boxes for a lot of people, especially when it comes to like hanging with someone they care about. They just want to feel like that person is hanging with them and paying attention to them and giving them a time and dedication. That's all they really want, So that's a bit of advice that I know I've helped people in my life in their relationships. Just because it makes sense. It's like, if everyone in your circle of trust knows where they stand in your schedule, you never really have to explain like, hey, these days I don't really talk that much, or these days like I need to be by myself. Like, you don't need to explain that later down the road because you already established this is your schedule and this is how you work to be the best possible you. And if you have a partner that cares about you, they're going to abide by your schedule because they want you to be the best possible version of yourself. So it's usually a win-win. And I always say do this early on, because what happens is people like each other so much that they forget that they need to do that. And then it's half a year in and you both are sick of each other. You don't know why you're sick of each other, and you break up. But when in actuality, neither of you made any actual boundaries. So you guys ended up spending every waking moment with each other for 6 months. And then you wonder why you don't want to see the person. Like, they turn into a sibling. That's why. You have to set boundaries so it feels special when you see them. It feels like it's a real relationship. If you just see them every day because you want to see them every day, what happens when you don't want to see them? Oh, the relationship it lost its luster, lost its spark. Oh, maybe we should break up. I don't feel the same way I used to feel. Yeah, because you've seen this person every freaking day. Anyway, I just killed that monkey. People in relationships to not see their partner as their partner, and they need to see their partner as their own separate human being that needs things based on that. So, like, a lot of times in relationships, the person might be mad at the other person for not knowing this or not doing this for them or not doing that or just not living up to their expectations. My whole thing about expectations is you shouldn't set them unless you know that person. Now, let me explain. If you know someone, then you can set expectations for them because you already know how they are. But if you don't know someone and you're setting expectations and then being disappointed when they do not meet those expectations that they didn't know about, you got to blame yourself, because not only did you do yourself a disservice, but you did them a disservice. Because essentially you're trying to set expectations based on what you want, but you're basing it on someone that isn't going to fill all your boxes. That's a human being. So you need to get to know them before you start setting expectations for them. And that's why I always tell people, try to be their friend first. Because if you don't understand someone, how are you going to expect anything from them? You're just always going to be disappointed because you're setting expectations that only you know about. But it's just as simple as, you like things this way. This person does not know you. You don't know this person. How do you know that this person has the capacity to do it the way that you like? You only know that by getting to know them. So don't set expectations until you get to know someone. Period. I've been a victim of that. I've done that. I've met someone and had an idea of what I wanted and not understood who that person was. And then when they didn't meet my expectation, I was like, it's them. But no, it was me, because I made expectations without knowing that person first. It's a lose situation. You're not going to win that situation ever. It's not going to be, unless you meet your soulmate on a whim and they just happen to fill all your boxes exactly how you need it. But what more than likely will happen is you'll meet someone who's trying to fill your expectations. Thus, you're falling in love with someone who isn't there. That's not them. That's them trying to fulfill your expectations and not being them and being whoever you need them to be. Which all that does is increase resentment later on the road. Because what happens is, it'll be 2 years into a relationship and this person stops and realizes, wait, I haven't done anything that I like to do because I've been trying to be this person for this other person. Oh, wait, I hate this person because I'm no longer me. Boom. Another issue. Don't do that. Do not do that. Set expectations after you get to know somebody. Don't do it before, or you will be in that situation most of the time, I will say. My point is, a lot of people are getting in relationships for a selfish reason, and I understand the selfish reason. And I'm not saying the selfish reason is a problem, but it is problematic to your overall goal. Because if your overall goal is to be happy, having someone else try to meet that goal is only going to make you resent them. Someone can give you the world, but if you don't think you deserve the world, it means nothing. Because what I see happen a lot, and I think I've mentioned this in another podcast, is it'll be an unhappy person who seeks out a happy person to help them feel happier. And then in the process, all they end up doing is destroying the happy person's happiness, because the happy person was happy by themselves. This person is not happy by themselves. Thus, they're looking for someone who can help them be happy by themselves. But no one can do that but you. So stop ruining happy people to fulfill your own selfish needs. Hot take, but that's how I feel. And a lot of people are selfish. So don't be like, oh, you're selfish. No, a lot of people are selfish. We're human beings and we look out for number one. It's not a bad thing to be selfish. You need to be selfish sometimes. And some of us need to hear that. I needed to hear that. I've changed my whole life around for people. And just for me to still not be appreciated, just for me to still not be, you know what I'm saying? I moved across the country. I moved across the country. Quit a job, moved across the country. Because I liked somebody, right? That person did not like me. That person resented me. Even for that, they resented me. And that's one of the things that I try to mention. It's like, I don't just be talking out of thin air, you know? I've been through a lot of things that I can pull experiences from. And then I just say them because a lot of people, not only do they not speak about things that are problematic for them, but they don't understand that other people can definitely help them with that and are willing to help, just based on telling them about what happened to them. And it helps these people get that off their chest that, hey, this happened to me. This happened to me and this is what I learned from it. Hopefully this can help you. So be more open, be more willing to talk to people and learn about people and just ask questions. That's my biggest thing of why I can give advice to so many people, as I ask so many questions to people I meet, that I have such an understanding of the world around me that usually when someone brings something up to me, I've heard it before, or I've seen it before, or I've experienced it, and I can give at least a little bit of insight, a little bit of advice, but tell them how you did something helped you. And usually people are smart enough and they have critical thinking skills enough to understand, hey, that helped them. Maybe this might help me because the situation is similar. But don't do this to a crazy person, because a crazy person is just going to think that you're trying to belittle them. And I say crazy as in people that are unhealed to the point where they hate themselves and they don't love themselves and they can't hear advice. Because those people are a lost cause. Just let them be in their dumb little world where they don't want to take advice from anyone because they don't understand that people are trying to help them and they think everyone's talking down to them. Those people deserve to just wander, because they gotta learn the hard way not to be an asshole. Sorry, people like that irritate me. Like, you can't take advice because you literally are sitting here thinking that someone's trying to talk down to you. Like, is your pride so high that you don't understand that everyone has their own experience and everyone deserves to be able to say that, and everyone has something to say, to the point where you can't take someone explaining to you something that helped them? Grow up. And I'm not talking to anyone specific. I'm just saying, like, those people in general are so annoying to even speak to, because you can't say anything to them without them being like, oh, I know that. Oh, I did that. Oh, I already knew that. And it's like, just shut up and take the advice. Like, advice isn't for the person hearing it. Advice is for the person that learned this lesson to know that advice. And I wish more people would understand, when people are giving you advice, it a lot of times has very little to do with you. Very little to do with you. It has a lot of times a lot to do with them. Hey, this is something that I wish I would have known. Hey, this is something I learned after I didn't know something that you're about to do. Hey, like, it's very wholesome and it's very innocent that someone would give you advice. Because it means nothing other than, hey, this helped me, hopefully it can help you. I went on a few tangents there, but I'm trying to get more consistent. I got really into the YouTube thing, and it kind of made my regular podcast like this falter in a way. I used to drop like 2 podcasts a month, and then I started doing YouTube, and it turned into a podcast every 3 months because YouTube is time consuming. So I'm gonna try to get back on my thing, but you guys keep trying to be your best self and keep trying to help others be their best selves, and just keep being kind. That's all we need in the world right now, is people that are kind enough to show not even empathy, just show that you give a fuck about something other than yourself. That's what the world needs right now. People that give a fuck about more than just themselves. People that give a fuck about more than just things about themselves. Selfishness needs to be eradicated in some forms. Some of us givers give too much, and we need to learn how to be selfish. But some of the takers need to understand themselves enough to understand that they're taking. Because I don't think takers are a bad thing. I think a lot of takers don't understand that they're takers. A lot of takers have a critical wound they haven't worked out, and they don't understand that, hey, what you're doing is not only taking your friend's energy, but it's also taking their brain cells. Chill out and figure it out on your own. Not your friends, just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Everyone's been in a relationship where the person that you're in a relationship is a taker and you're a giver. And if you haven't been in one of those relationships, you're probably a taker. You're probably a taker, I'm just saying. If you've never been in a relationship where you feel like you're giving so much and the person isn't giving you anything, then you're probably the person taking. Because the person taking always feels like they're doing so much, when it's like, you're just treating me like a normal human being. Like, that's what you're doing. But I'm going above and beyond. But takers don't understand what above and beyond means, because takers have always been given things. So they don't need to know that. Anyway, another tangent I just went on a topic that irritates me. But I appreciate y'all. Here, another episode of K.O.R.L Radio with your boy, Kahari Lindsay.